Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be starting the painting and reassembling process of a cart that I've named Bandit. Come along for the ride, let's get started. Alright, well if you're following the channel, this is kind of where we're at. Not a lot has changed. The cart is basically just like the thumbnail says, and even a little farther. It's basically split in half and all the way down to just a pile of parts here. So on the last episode, if you saw that, we did get our axle kind of prepped and ready, new brakes, new drums. I am debating painting those drums to match. I use the flat black, which I love, and the drums are shiny, so I may still hit those with some flat black. Still got to get the motor painted up, but my main focus today is to get these frame rails scuffed up, and I'm going to use, this is what I've decided on. After debating a lot on what to do, is like powder coating or polishing and all of that, I decided just to hit it with the MRO. I think they call this machinery gray, and that's really the color I was looking for when I did the rear differential. It looks good, but it's not really what I was going for, so we're just going to leave that. I bought aluminum paint, and that's what I got. It looks just like aluminum, so that's fine. I don't really want to do that on the frame just because I'm going for a different look here, and then hopefully it'll all make sense. But for right now, I didn't buy any cleaner or anything like that. We're just going to plop these up on the table here, give them a quick scuff down, maybe use some mineral spirits and wipe them down, and then clean up some of these rough edges. Somebody had added like a bull bar or something on the front of this cart and drilled some holes in there. I got to kind of grind those down a little bit. I actually cut myself last time because I wasn't careful. But basically prep them, and then hopefully get outside and do some painting. And like I said, this video, I'd like to at least get it somewhat back to looking like a frame again. So, you know, it's been like, how do you describe it? Melty degrees outside. We've had super high humidity and high heat. Today's actually calmed down a little bit. Actually looks like we were going to get a little bit of a storm, but I think it's going to go around us. So I think the humidity's down enough where we can go outside. I really don't want to paint in the garage here. It just creates a lot of fumes. So I'll get all the prep work done and everything in the nice air-conditioned shop, and then we'll just run outside quick and spray them down and hope for the best. So here we go. Alright, so I just hit it with my little air die grinder. I purposely did not put a brand new wheel on here. I don't want it real aggressive. I don't mind if there's swirl marks in here because I'm kind of going for that industrial look anyway. But the main parts you're going to see is right through here, around where the rear wheels are, and then this bend up in here by the front suspension. Everything else is pretty much hidden. So just kind of scuffing them up quick and getting the imperfections off, if you will, kind of the rough spots, maybe where there was a gouge. I cleaned that up a little bit around where there was some corrosion. I'm not getting crazy on this because, you know, that MRO paint just covers like crazy and it'll fill a lot of that in. And after all, it is just the frame, so let's not get too carried away, or more carried away than I already am, I guess. But I'll grab this other one here. We'll swap these out. Probably do a little bit with that cross member, and then, like I said, I'll probably wipe everything down with mineral spirits. We did get a quick little rain shower here, but I think it's done, so we can probably run out and just blast these quick. All right, back outside. Picked me up one of these to go on the can. I've had one for years, but it wasn't strong enough to hold these big, heavy cans. or it was just wore out. Seems to be going on real good. This is a lifesaver. Just got to be careful because it does put down a lot more paint, so you got to be careful of runs. Just trying to get a basic layer on there, and then we'll let that set up a little bit. Come back through and do another one, of course, or two. All right, let me take you up close here. Just absolutely love that paint. I know I talk about it and repeat myself all the time, but it fills in all those little imperfections. Just really, really does a good job for spray paint. I mean, I'm not a painter or a body guy by any means, but this stuff makes me look good, you know what I'm saying? So we'll let that set up a little bit. The wind's blowing in that direction, which is perfect. It's kind of away from the house, and you know, my fence might be gray by the time we're done here, but at least it's not all going in my lungs, I guess. I can't find my mask. Well, didn't really look very hard either, but what I'll do then is get these flipped over and do these other sides. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. And you're saying, well, that looks like primer. Well, that's kind of the look I'm going for on this cart. Don't really want shiny, I guess. I don't know. Kind of industrial, military. I don't know. Maybe it'll make more sense as it comes together here, but that's what I'm after. Well, while that's kind of drying and setting up, I thought maybe I'd hit some of these black pieces, blow those off a little bit with air, wipe them down. I might even, like I said earlier, grab those brake drums and do those in the MRO flat black. So let me grab a piece of cardboard or something I can set these on, and we'll go out and probably spray these down quick also. All right, back outside. I did some prep work on that other stuff, but it took me so long that we might be able to flip these around and do the other sides. All right, y'all, check this out. I had to take the camera inside. I forget, when it's sitting out in the direct sunlight, it basically overheats. So I can't have the sun beating down on it, so we had to take it inside and let it cool off a minute. But look at this frame. Man, am I happy with the way this turned out. Not bad for a rattle can. All those imperfections are gone. Wouldn't have bothered me if there were swirl marks in it, but now that it doesn't have it, man, it looks cool. So that's drying. I just kind of put the final application on that. Just kind of hit these real quick. They're going to need some touch up for sure. It's kind of hard working down on the grass. I didn't think that through real clearly, but I grabbed those brake drums, but this needs a little more touch up. I see some spots that I missed, and the frame is probably going to need some touch up as well, but it won't be too bad. I mean, when we're getting it assembled and stuff, we're going to scratch it and things are going to happen, but we can certainly touch that up. So we'll let that dry a little longer and then get back inside and start reassembling. Well, while the paint's out there drying, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about one of the promo codes I have for you for today on Wally phone cases, wallycases.com. I've been using these for a long time. I love these cases. It's got the loop in the back, so if you talk with your hands like I do and you're all over the place, you're not going to throw your phone across the room. It also has this nice loop feature in the back, so you can put that loop up, set that up on the counter, maybe watch a Cart Crazy video. Also has a debit card or a business card pocket in the back, so if you want to just not take your whole wallet into the store, run into the store, throw your debit card in there, you're good to go. So jump on over to wallycases.com, use the promo code TERRA67206, save yourself 10% on your entire purchase. All right, I was just about to bring everything inside and realized that I had a lot more touch-up than I thought. So I just went ahead and did it outside here rather than in the shop, just to keep the fumes and stuff out. I actually carried one in and realized I missed like the whole edge of the rail. So I just went ahead and blasted them quick while they're outside. Hit these a little bit more. Also some spots that I missed, obviously, and you'll have that, especially if you're doing things like I do and crawling around on the ground and everything else. So it'd be nice if I had like a clothesline or something here where I could hang everything on. Maybe I'll look into that. That might be a good idea, actually. But we'll let this dry a little bit more, and then we'll get it in the shop. All right, back in the garage here, and just trying to come up with a plan of attack that I don't completely scratch everything I just did. Obviously, like I said, we're going to have some scratches, but it should be easy enough to touch up. So what I'll probably do is start with that front, and then kind of bring that together as I put the cross member in, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Fold it together? I don't know. You know what I'm saying. And then once we get those two pieces in place, that'll be pretty rigid. And then we can go ahead and grab like leaf springs. I got new bushings for leaf springs. And we can go ahead and throw our rear axle in. I'm not doing the heavy duty springs yet. In fact, I might not. If my plan goes the way I'm thinking on this cart, it's not going to have a back seat. It may be added later, but we can always do a heavy-duty leaf spring swap over. So let's dig in here and find my hardware and see if we can get this thing back together. Well, that went way easier than I thought it was going to. I was thinking this front was going to really fight me, but a couple of taps with the soft-faced hammer and it went right in. The cross member, rather than slide it in, I started to a little bit and scratched my paint a little bit, but I actually just brought it to where it needed to be by spreading the frame apart and then brought the frame into it. So that seemed to work pretty good. So I think we can probably tighten these down and get it up on jack stands where we can start working on the rear differential. One thing I did notice before I tighten up this cross member, I've actually got, well, it's hard to do it one-handed here, but a little bit of give back and forth in there. So I'm going to leave those loose because it probably equates to about 1/4 of an inch, just to make sure, the rear differential's in and everything before we go and tighten those down, because that might fight us a little bit when it comes time to getting those leaf springs in. If I wasn't in such a hurry the other day, I would have cleaned all these up before painting them, obviously, but sometimes I like to do things backwards. Keeps life interesting. All right, bushings installed, lickety split. Let's keep going. All right, switching gears. a little bit, getting to the rear axle, rear differential. Let me grab the camera and walk over there. We got our shackles in, and I'm trying to remember, I'm pretty sure the long end of the leaf spring goes towards the back of the cart. I've done enough of these, you think I'd remember, but some days it's hard to remember what I had for breakfast, so I'm pretty sure that's right. But I think what I'm going to do is, rather than try to put the U-bolts and everything on here, I'm just going to go ahead and put the leaf springs on, and then we'll be able to kind of slide the axle under it or pull the frame over the top. I think that's going to be easier. So get the leaf springs popped in. I did pick up a little bit of new hardware. I don't know if you remember in a previous video, those bushings were seized and the threads were kind of all boogered, so I do have new hardware for the front. Everything else I think we should be able to reuse. Those bolts actually belong back here. I just kind of stuck them in there temporarily, so we'll switch that around, get the leaf springs in, and keep trucking. Starting to look like something again. Thought I'd be smart and paint the heads of those bolts while it was in the frame. Yeah, forgetting that they're the wrong length for the ones up there, so not a big deal. Nothing a spray can can't touch up. Got it kind of resting on here at the moment. I need to do some moving around. Jack stands obviously have to go in further because I've got to get my bracketry and stuff under there, which I probably forgot to paint. So, but yeah, dropping those U-bolts over the top and getting everything ready for the brake cables is kind of where we're at. All right, while the pieces that I forgot to paint are out there drying, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about lift kits. And I'm going to compare these two just because this one was on the cart, and I'm not picking on Mad Jacks or anything, but that's you can see that's what was on there. And this is the 6-inch lift that our friends over at 10 LOL sent over. So we're just going to compare a couple things here real quick. I want you to see the differences, and you can make your own determination. First thing I wanted to look at was that caught my eye as soon as I took it out of the box. On the upper spindle mounts, check that out. I don't know if you can see it. There's a set screw right there. A lot of times those will tend to back out, and you're right at the campground, turn in a corner, and boom, that bolt will pop out, and you'll lose your whole front suspension and kind of ruin your weekend. So really cool that they put a set screw in there. I thought that was a really neat idea. The other thing I noticed right away, I've seen these snap off many times. On the 10 LOL, they've actually got a gusset in there, so it'll give that more support and less chance of that happening. So notice those two things right out of the gate. We'll compare our upper control arms. The 10 LOL is a little bit lighter here. I'm not gonna deny that, but they still got the gusset in there. However, when you get down to the other end, you've got quite a bit of difference here. You've got this beefed up nice where your heim joint goes in, nice weld around there, so that shouldn't give you any grief. And then on the main structure support, one of the biggest things that caught my eye right away was the heim joint. Now on the Mad Jacks, of course they go into the lower control arm. Check out the differences in size on that. That's not a trickery of the camera or anything like that. That is legit. Nice heavy duty heim joint, nice heavy duty bolt obviously, and that goes right here on your lower control arm. The other thing that I noticed, just a tubular type lower control arm on the Mad Jacks, and on this one we've got a basically a one solid steel plate with the bends in it, and going to give you a lot more support in my mind. And then Probably one of the last things I'm going to point out is the leaf springs, and I'm not taking a micrometer out or doing anything fancy like that. I don't get that technical, but you can almost see with the naked eye the thickness difference in that leaf spring that goes across. So if you're considering your lift kit, maybe give them a try. Don't forget to use my promo code Jeff100. They're competitively priced already. You'll save another 5% with my promo code. Well, what do y'all think? Coming together. Frame is looking pretty snazzy. Obviously, I'm going to have to do some touch-up on the bolt heads. Thought about painting those ahead of time, but I didn't. Plus, I figured they'd probably get boogered up in the process of putting them on. Not terrible, I guess I could have, but yes, it's coming together. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure to use those promo codes. Head on over to wallycases.com. Use the promo code TERRA67206. Save 10% on your entire purchase. Also, golf cart parts, 10LOL.com. A lot of the parts that I'm going to be using or have used already on this build are coming from 10LOL. Jump on over there, check their website out, and use the promo code Jeff100. Save 5% on your entire purchase and get free shipping. So you can't beat that. What's up next for this build? A lot. Okay, we're just getting started on this guy. A lot of ideas in my head. I'll probably change my mind a half a dozen times before it's all said and done, but the end result I'm really excited for, and I'm really excited to bring you all along with. Thanks for coming along if this is your first video, and make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I'd appreciate that, and we'll see you next time on Kart Crazy.